Welcome to the Feminine Wave. Today's episode will be focusing on conscious being, real awareness. Let's talk about personal growth, self help, faith, essence, and spirituality. Today's guest is Dr. Anita Jackson. She has spoken on stages, podcasts, summits, conferences, universities, corporate events, and online media platforms around the world, delivering transformational conversations that blend psychological insight, spiritual wisdom, and practical strategy. Oh, but no further ado, I would love to introduce you to Dr. Anita Jackson.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tara. I'm so honored to be here with you. It's been a long time coming, and I'm so honored to be with you and your audience and the impact that you're making with women around the world. I'm just so impressed and so humbled by your heart, your spirit, and I'm excited just to be here with you.
Oh, I am so excited to have you, and wow, what an honor and a privilege. Thank you for your kind words, and right back at you, girl, because
Thank
oh
you.
my gosh, you just do such amazing things. I am always in awe of what new things you have going on
Thank
and
you very
continue
much.
to have
It's been a
going on.
journey.
Yeah,
It's been a
yeah.
journey.
So I really expect this to be a very rich conversation. And I would love to first off, so your company is Crown Her Rise. And one of the topics that I am understanding that you address is, healing the exhausted woman. And that is completely, women listening to this, and how we have totally we've put on these masks of the things that we think we're supposed to be,
Yes,
and we run ourselves ragged,
yes,
thinking the more we do, the better it'll get, which is so not so counterproductive to the truth.
absolutely. Yes.
And so I'm just going to give you the stage and let you talk all about that because I got my pen and paper. I'm going to make crazy notes.
Well, it's interesting because I kind of fell into that topic through my own personal journey. Um, to give you a little bit of a background of who I am, I formally have a background over 32 years in the mental health world as a marriage and family therapist. My doctorate's in organizational leadership and psychology. So I have a background in ministry. I've been in the service-based industry since I came out my mama's womb. So I am one of those individuals who has developed a lot of my identity and my sense of self and worth based on what I can do, what I can produce. And I can do and produce quite a bit. Actually, I was teased quite a bit by my close friends who said, I would say, it's so easy. I don't understand why you guys can't get whatever it is. But not realizing that it was just my natural super gift, right? Where everyone else maybe had struggled with it. But I really didn't see, well, let me back up a little bit. To make this long story short as I possibly can, I had this mentality underneath it. I can see it now. I couldn't see it before because hindsight's 2020. But what I recognized fairly late in my life was that if in my mind I hadn't been diagnosed with ADHD until late in life. So when I was in my doctorate program, one of my professors saw it and said, "You need to go get tested." Got tested and went, "So that makes so much sense. Oh my God, now I understand things." But what was happening prior to that was I thought I was stupid. I didn't think I was smart. And so I had to push to prove that I was smart, that I had value, that I had purpose. So I worked really, 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 really hard to get everyone outside of me to see me, to love me, to evaluate me, to validate me, not evaluate, but to validate and maybe evaluate too. And it wasn't until 2023. I mean, I've had some major losses in my life, but 2023 and last year were significant. And the reason being is when COVID hit, I realized that my business that was doing well was not as established as I thought it was. My business, like so many women entrepreneurs, was built on me. I was the business. I wasn't the brand. So there's a difference between understanding, am I the brand? And am I living the essence of what I teach? or am I the business and I'm doing all the work? Which basically means when you get sick, when you get tired, if there's an emergency in your life, you stop, then your business stops. It doesn't make money, it doesn't continue going, and that could affect your life if that's the only source of income you've got. If you're not married, you've got a husband or you've got a partner who's, supporting you somewhere, or you've got a whole bunch of millions behind you, it can be traumatic because once that money disappears, your life goes comes to a stop. And that was my journey. And I realized, oh wow, yeah, I'm making these $20,000, contracts, but I didn't have the money wisdom to have my money make wealth for me. That's key number one. And if you haven't learned how to build wealth, women can make money. Every single woman on here knows how to make money. If she has to make some money to take care of herself or her family or her babies, she's gonna get it done. That's just how we were designed. All right. But in the long run, it burns us out. So the exhausted woman came forward when my mom passed. When in 2023, I kind of lost my job, lost my house, lost everything. Like I was a woman who went through a season of homelessness. Not that I was on the street, but I didn't have a home. I was living from hotel to hotel, friend's place to family place, and all these kind of places, and couldn't understand. I'm educated, I'm smart, I'm capable. How is this happening? Oh, but God. Sometimes God's like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go through that because I have a deeper calling for you on the other side. So the exhausted
Yeah,
woman
it's
for me,
interesting how that happens. We're on one track and then boop, something happens and oops, I'm taking a left turn this time. I
you
can
weren't
totally
expecting it,
relate. Yeah.
especially when you weren't expecting it. But like you just said, those things happen for a reason.
Yep.
I believe everything happens for a reason. So the reason was, hey, I want you to become the woman I really called you to be that you've always known, but you've been running from. And that's one of the things that I recognize as an exhausted woman. So often, the exhausted woman has a huge calling on her life to make a difference within herself, her family, her community, and the world. But the world and her circumstances have convinced her to work so hard that she gets exhausted from just surviving, that she's not actually on the path of fulfilling the call in her life. So my mom passed in 2024, March of 2024. She had already been sick. I had already the intuitive discernment to know, hey, she's been sick, come back, sick, come back. This one, God saying in my spirit, I'm taking her home. And my mom said she was ready to go. So we released her, or I released her, and fell into a deep depression. Now,
Mm.
I'm one who's taking care of everyone else's depression. It's rare that I had someone to take care of mine. So I fell into a deep depression. And it was one of my coaches, because I was still trying to push, and God bless her, because she's the one who said, you're burned out and you need to take a break. And what I knew about burnout is you can't go back to the same thing that you did before to heal burnout. You have to change your entire existence and your entire life. So for 2024 and 2025, I did nothing but cry. Cry, grieve, sleep, pray, and realize that I was really exhausted. And that's the thing I noticed about a lot of women. Most of us are probably, especially those of us who are very capable, very responsible, we're the ones that everybody comes to. There's a good chance you're exhausted. How do you know
Mm.
you're exhausted? If you're having the same experiences over and over again, that means your body can't handle, your nervous system can't handle more, so it stays at a plateau. So your money's going to stay at a plateau, your relationships get to a plateau, your body gets to a plateau, especially if you're going through menopause. That's a whole nother story that's added into it. So all of those things when they're happening at the same time will wear you out. And it's your body and your spirit's way of saying, hey, pay attention. We're trying to get you to your next level, but you can't unless this is healed. So that's how I recognize the exhausted woman. She's tired and from everything in her life. She's been responsible for too long. She's been carrying too much for too long and probably by herself because she's strong and capable and responsible.
Yes, us overachievers over here.
That's over. Yeah. So that's a lover. But
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
And that's the goal here is there needs to be a safe place for the woman who has been overly responsible, for her to come in and say, I'm tired. And not be judged for it, not be criticized for it, not be demeaned for it, but instead be supported. So what does that support look like? Well, there are, if we're looking at the body, soul, and spirit, well, let me reverse it because I think it actually goes a certain way. I think it goes your spirit. We already know that you're a spiritual being in a human body. Your spiritual being is complete, whole, nothing missing, nothing broken. Everything that you need is in your spirit. You just need to pull that out, get you in a place where you can calm down, be safe enough to hear that truth and follow that path, which is what the 2 years were for me, is to come back and look at my life and go, I'm almost 60 and I am so not where I thought I would be. I'm not doing and living the life I thought I would because I got so caught up living it for everybody else and didn't even. And here's the thing, sometimes you love what you do and you enjoy it and you're good at it, that you won't recognize that you're tired. And it's like going on a vacation and the first 5 days you're trying to just reset. And then you got to leave 3 days later. You're like, I didn't even get a chance to really relax because we as women don't know how to receive, don't know how to relax, don't know how to put ourselves first. We're operating out of we're not even operating out of our overflow. We're operating out of our emptiness. Most of us are empty. And and it's not just women of color, it's all women. I don't care who you are.
Absolutely. Every one of us.
Every woman on this planet is an exhausted woman. Personally, I think it's an epidemic. I think it's a silent killer. I think it's something we're not having enough conversations around or a safe place to say, okay, you're tired. Now let's reset your spirit. Let's reset. Your spirit doesn't need to be reset. Let me make sure that's very clear. Your spirit is perfect as it is. It knows all things. But we do need to reset your nervous system. Your nervous system is a complex, multi-level system, operating system in your body. So it's a physical aspect of who you are that interprets and takes in all the information that you've had in your life. And like your beautiful, gorgeous brain, it drops every piece of information or experience you've had into categories. And it's going to deem if it is pleasurable, taking too much of your energy, or if it's causing you pain. It's going to evaluate everything through those things. 9 times out of 10, it's saying this is taking up a lot of energy and it's causing you pain, but because you're so strong, you may not recognize that it's causing you pain. So because you keep pushing to get past it. And then, if you've seen your body gain weight, if you have your skin starts to change, believe it or not, your whole body physicality starts to change, your weight starts to change, your money powerfully connected to your money because your brain actually, there's a feminine wealth hormone that we as women produce on a regular basis. But if we are in stress and cortisol is running through our system, that hormone can't function at the level that it can. So you can get stuck at a plateau of how money comes into your life, how you allow yourself to grow. So you could be working on your business and doing all the things, but take a look. Go look at the last year. And if you're brave, go look at the last three. And has it grown significantly? And when I say significantly, I should say you should look at your money, and if it hasn't grown at least a good ten to $20,000, you're stuck. You're at a plateau, and that means there's something stuck in your body, right? Your body's not producing the chemicals and the hormones that will help you expand to receive the wealth and abundance out in your life. And there's a good chance your business, if you're in business for yourself, is probably not set up to receive more. Your capacity is not increased. So over the past couple of years, this is what I've been going through in my own personal journey, what I've been focusing on. And I'm a science geek, obviously, having gone to school, and I've got every degree that you can think of under my name. I love science. I probably should have been a neurologist because I love everything about the brain. It fascinates me, and I know quite a bit of it. Thought about going back and getting another doctorate and just decided that's too much work. I'll just learn it from the outside. But the exhausted woman is really about giving yourself permission to admit what you're going through and what you're dealing with and to find a safe place to say, oh, I can take off my mask, I can let down my hair, I can be seen, I can be heard, I can be validated, I can be celebrated, and eventually be paid to operate in the truth of who I really, really am. those really big dreams and goals and desires that I kind of put on the back burner for maybe way too long that now has me unfulfilled. So part of the healing is, are you willing to have the honest conversation with yourself that you're unfulfilled, that you're not as happy as you should be and could be? I had to have that conversation with myself and realize, yeah, no, I don't want to live another 60 years like this. I don't. So what do I got to do to change it? I'm not going backwards. I refuse. And then that decision, reaching that definite conclusion, opened up so many doors and opportunities, and Crown Her Rise came forward because we've always been crowned as amazing, powerful women. That's how God designed us. But to actually rise in the her that we were created to be is our goal. It's our focus. It's our ministry. It is what you are here to do, is help you see that real woman who may love luxury. I can keep going for hours, so let's have this conversation because I know there's so much that's there. But it's time for us women to take herself back.
Well, honey, you're speaking my love language over here. So just so you know.
But
Yeah, well, and just for everybody watching and listening, and Dr. Anita and I, we've known each other 10 to 12 years. We can't
yeah,
quite
can't
pinpoint
nail
the
it.
time. And I mean, we've always been on the same wavelength. We've always had similar purposes and goals and intentions and all of that. So, like I said, I mean, I am like woohoo over here to everything you've already said. So,
Well, I had to see it myself. I had to go through my own Jobed, that's what I call it, my own Jobed story, the story of Job in the Bible, and had to lose everything to see the real depth of what was going on inside me, outside of me, and then around in my world. And I'm proud of all the things that I've accomplished. I'm good at what I've done. I give myself credit for that. But there's a whole nother level that I'm to rise into, and to do it without pressure or hustle or this false external expectation that it has to look the way everyone else looks. But it can be exactly what my soul, my spirit needs it. And for me, I need beauty and I need luxury and we talk about that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there are a lot of coaches out there who speak to it. But I think we have to, the psychologist in me says, yeah, we got to get you out the trauma first so that you can reset rather than go pursue something. Because if you try, it's almost like, this is a strange analogy, but I'll use it. It's like someone who wins the lottery. And there's just tons of research that shows that if they hadn't really set their mindset up for that kind of capacity of wealth and abundance, they lose it within, 2 to 3 years.
mhm.
So the same thing goes with your own life. If you're not set up to walk into this new woman of her that you're supposed to be, who can handle that expanded capacity of wealth and abundance, you're going to sabotage it. And an exhausted woman is always sabotaging herself without even knowing it. So I could see it so much in my own life now, like, yeah, wow, there's this feeling, there's this set point that I kept hitting, and I couldn't understand why. I'm like, I know how to get past this. Why am I not getting past it? Because my body wasn't where it needed to be holistically, energetically, hormonally, in my nervous system specifically to handle what's coming next. Now it is because it's taken me years, and I'm very clear. I know how to do it, creating my own products and brands behind it within Crown Horizon. Like, this is what healed me deeply, easily, quickly, surprisingly. And then all these little things started to manifest. Like, look at that. If I had just slowed down more and made me a priority so I can increase my capacity to receive these higher level things, I probably would have gotten them a whole lot sooner. But then I may have missed using this story, my journey, to be an example to other women who are smart and capable and hurting, and you are not alone. You need a safe place to be seen, to be heard. I'm going to say this over and over again until you get it. girl, come to Crown Her Eyes, come to Tara. We're gonna come together to do some things to help you rise and heal because you're supposed to be healed so you can receive more to change your family, community, and the world. So
Mhm.
that's my stance. I'm stick to it.
Well, and like I said, we're both like, saying the same thing. And I know for me, I believe that female or male or feminine or masculine, we've all come here to uh, to learn, as well as then what it is we need to learn is what we're meant to teach.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a firm believer of that. Whatever your, I always say that 9 to the 10, there's probably three things that, since you're a body, soul, and spirit, there are probably three very significant lessons you've gone through, and those are what you're supposed to be teaching on this planet. But if you haven't learned it, you can't teach it. So you got to learn it to teach it. And sometimes you have to learn while you're doing. You have to teach while you're
Yeah,
doing. Yeah.
yeah. And
So I agree.
sometimes you're just a little bit further along than
Just
someone
a
else.
little bit.
I mean, it could be maybe a day. Sometimes I think it's an hour.
So true. You're like, I just got that revelation,
Yeah.
and here you are coming to talk to me about that. Okay, let
Well,
me tell you what I just got.
and what I love about the feminine is we know we're here to do it together.
Yes, yes. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way.
Absolutely. And,
I think the
men, they
world.
like to hunt and be alone and all that thing, not us. We like to talk in groups and be in
I'll
groups.
tell you. I'll tell you why this is so. Let me tell you some science. So
Oh, goody.
what you just landed on really is how the feminine wealth of hormone gets activated. The more you're in the right environment, not just all environments, you have to be in the right environment. So, what triggers when a woman's in the right environment, which means she is safe, first and foremost, she's seen, heard, and valued, then her body naturally produces what's called oxytocin. Now, most of us think of oxytocin as, well, that's how I bond to my child and to my husband through intimacy, through sex. Yes, but there's so much research behind it that most people don't even realize that it is the activating hormone that actually causes the brain to increase the dopamine, the serotonins, all those other chemicals in your beautiful, gorgeous body that connects to the law of attraction, if you want to use that term. I'm not one who uses it, but it's great to use to explain things. So when a woman is really in her oxytocin and her oxytocin level is high, she's calm, she's regulated, she's at peace. Well, when she's calm, regulated, at peace, her shoulders drop, her body is more expanded. Oxytocin is what gets, the cervix open so that baby can come out, right? So this chemical, you have it in spades, but if you are stressed, burnt out, overwhelmed, anxious, constantly putting everybody else before you, not getting enough sleep, not eating really well, dehydrated, then that oxytocin drops. Then cortisol, your stress hormone, kicks in. Great way to test if you have cortisol in your system. If you were to massage your neck or massage your shoulder and it's tender or you feel knots, that's cortisol. It is now has been grooved into your muscles and it's sitting there. So once it grooves into your muscles, into your tissues, and you feel knots, any kind of tightness, any knot, like if you miss my massage therapist was a Korean guy, and he would use his elbow because I had this huge knot in my shoulder, and he's like, "Good Lord, woman, what is that?" So he had to really press to break it out of the muscles so that my body can flush it out. It's not there, and it's really small, it's still there, but it's smaller than it was. So if you have any of those knots on your system, or if you've noticed your elasticity in your system not doing well, you're getting bags under your eyes, so you're not sleeping. There's so many health signs that can tell you, yeah, you've got a high level of cortisol in your system. And we push it off as, oh, it's menopause. Yeah, menopause is probably playing a huge part of it, but for the highly capable, busy, productive, always taking care of everyone else woman, it's cortisol. Guarantee, I would bet money on it. And until you address the issue holistically in a layered approach type of way, it doesn't flush out of your system that easily. It takes very concentrate. It's taken me almost 2.5 years to flush it out, and it's still there. I can tell you, I know it's still in my body. Um, that food we all have, and some of us say, "What? Because of baby." I'm like, that's probably cortisol. To be honest with you, I would all the research that have gone into. Yeah, that's probably cortisol. That means you're stressed. With everything that happened with 2020. I don't think we ever really came and reset ourselves. We just had to function and kept moving. So since we are functioning and keep moving, people don't change their behaviors unless something dramatic happens that causes them to change their behavior. My mom died. That it literally, this is what 2024 was. I had more losses than anybody should ever go through in one year. And it was each of those losses where someone died or I lost a very significant opportunity and my life came to a screeching halt that I realized it's not set up securely. I didn't do what I should have done, but my CPA said all the time, you make great money, but you have nothing to show for it. And that's another way to look at it. Like I'm so busy that I'm not actually making wise decisions about how to make sure my money is working for me rather than me working for it. So these are the things that and I think it's always been in front of me, but because I'm a go-getter and because I'm ambitious and because I'm driven, I didn't slow down enough to see it. So God lovingly put me in situations where I had no choice but to slow down and see it and go, I will never do that again. And if I can help any woman on this planet not go through the same thing, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's reset your body, which will reset your mind. So the way it actually goes now, it's your spirit, your nervous system, your body, your soul, your life. That's the actual order that I believe scientifically, spiritually, psychologically is how you process your entire life. It's through your
Say that
spirit,
again. It's spirit,
it's through
nervous
your
system.
spirit, your nervous system, your body, because your nervous system is what's gathering all the information and then it tells the body how to operate. So this is how you act it through, live it out. And then your soul, how you make decisions, how you feel about things, how you process everything emotionally. And then your life is how you actually live out those things that your nervous system and your mind has actually decided how to live its life. So if your life has been filled with a lot of trauma and stress, it will create a set point. It'll say, nope, can't go past this. This is how you get that money set point or that happiness set point or that love set point. You keep attracting the same kind of man set point. Those are all set points inside you that gets blocked because the nervous system and the mind have decided you can't handle more than this. So it won't allow you to do it. You can push all you want. It's like, can't do it till you change something. So that's when you come back and go, ooh, I got to reset everything. And that's what happened to me. I had to reset my entire, like, peel this onion apart and look at it honestly and go, wow, I did this to myself. Forgive myself, love myself, now change it. And since I'm a strategist, I can change things quickly once I decided, okay, it's time to get out of the stupor and start doing it. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me the time off, but let's hit this road running. What do you want me to do? And then these opportunities start coming in. And one was so significant. It's what launched Crown Her Rise. Somebody said, we want to hire you to take over this huge business. And we were right down to the contract. And I had this huge check in my spirit. My intuition and my discernment's like something's not right. So I just
Mhm.
kept telling this person, let's get the contract. So I got the contract, looked at the contract. It was nothing what we had said. It was completely um against what we had already said. And like we've got videos to prove that this is what we said, this is what we agreed on. Why aren't they matching? And that's when I realized, okay, it's not something for me to do. My spirit came very quickly, very loudly. You know you can do this yourself, right? You've got all of this that they have, you've got all of it. And I'm like, huh. And it's designed so that it functions without me. So if I want to go, me and my honey want to go away for a month, I can. It will function on its own. And that's what I want to teach women to do. Is like you can be the brand. I don't care what business you have. And let's set it up so that it operates without you, but it operates well. And when I mean operate, I mean it makes money because no business is anything if it just makes money for you. It's just a nice hobby, as they say.
Exactly.
We don't want you to
I
have a
was
hobby.
gonna say a
We want
hobby too.
we want you to actually have a business that is sustainable, that has ability to make the impact in your family, that allows you to live your life well, and allows you to teach what you feel you're here to teach. So you can leave it, make an impact, leave a legacy.
Absolutely. And I know that you're new to what I'm doing with the feminine wave. And it's, you know, let's create a swell
Yes.
of
Yeah.
the feminine because I totally believe that, our planet, society, whatever you want to call it, is so out of balance.
Yes.
And we need that feminine energy to come back in. And oh, by the way, there's feminine energy in the male body as well.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
It's just
absolutely.
not as much, right? And
Yes.
we just need to even that out.
How do you define femininity from your perspective? I'm curious. What's
Uh,
femininity for you?
um,
How do you define
that's a loaded question. We're the receivers. We're the
it?
receivers. And we're the relationship people.
Yeah.
We raise our children and our families in community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and I'm along with you, safety, valued, and I use another one, cherished,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
God, you need to be cherished. Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
and I've learned, the yin and yang symbol. The dark part
yes.
is actually the yin, which is the feminine, and it's got a little circle, the white
Yes.
circle of
Yes.
yang.
Yes.
Where at the other side, the yang, which is the masculine, has a little circle of the feminine.
Yes.
And oh, by the way, those can get bigger or smaller based on what we're doing. Like when I'm getting in a car and driving, I am probably not in my feminine. I'm going to be in my masculine because the
Right.
masculine is the doer, the goer, the direct, gets shit done kind of thing,
Yes.
right?
And
So,
honestly, I'm so glad you said it that way because I think that's where so many of us women have gotten lost is because we're in survival mode. We're having to do whatever we need to do to take care of ourselves and our family and those around us. We're more in our masculine than we realize. We're not in our feminine. And I love everything that you've said about the feminine. I also want to include, I think the feminine is really intuitive. Like
oh,
I believe
absolutely.
every woman has to develop
Absolutely.
her
And
intuition.
right.
That's your
And
golden
when we're
key.
operating too much in our masculine, we don't have we can't
Yes.
access it. See, and the other thing too, is, gosh, when I noticed for me, when I was operating in my masculine for years, it put my body in dis-ease because
Yes.
my body is not meant
That's right. That's
to
right.
operate that way.
That's right. Which is why we get exhausted.
Exactly, which is,
Yeah.
and then exhaustion cause other things like
Yes.
adrenal fatigue and
Yep.
all of these other
Yep.
things, which I was
Yep.
alluding to when I said
Yes.
dis-ease.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Your,
completely.
your, the deeper part of a woman is if she really understood a few things. One, you were made for abundance, pure and simple. Your body, the way it functions, your mind, the way it functions, is designed by God for abundance, which means if you were at peace and at rest and felt safe enough to allow and learn what that really looks like, things would probably flow to you a whole lot faster because you were designed for it. It's biologically, spiritually inside you, pure and simple. Second, kind of what you said, we are very intuitive, discerning women. Intuitiveness, I think it's more of div that psychological aspect of how we see things, how we interpret things, how we just know things because we know things. Whereas the discerning part, I think, is more global. It's more that spiritual connection to God that allows you to see, to forecast, to see out to the future. And both of those powers together, when you really learn how to acknowledge them within yourself and you know how to use them, they will guide you very powerfully in how to, become an attraction magnet, if you will, as well as, walk down the right path that leads you to living your highest and fullest life. So, so many women have lost. connection with that intuition and discernment part of themselves. I've heard, and maybe this is more on the psychological side when I was a psychologist, so many women say to me, I don't trust my intuition. I said, no, you are afraid of her. She's always right. You're just afraid of her. You don't like what she's telling because she may tell you, don't go with that man. And she's telling you, and you're just like, no, but he's so fine. And I know that is hard if he is fine. It is hard to go, ooh, Jesus, no, I gotta walk away. But you gotta love yourself enough to say, not the best situation for me. I'm an odd bird in a lot of ways because I always said I'd rather be single than be with a fool. And that became the truth until I finally met someone who's not a fool and went, wow, this man is everything that I have wanted, but I also had to prepare to receive him because he's more man than I am. And that's what I needed. I needed a man who's more masculine than I was. So I could drop more into my feminine. And he did it beautifully. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
I just like to say a little something. One of my teachers years ago, I love how she explained this. The feminine is like the river, and it can be fast, it can be powerful, it can be, soft and slow and
Be
all of this,
still. Mhm.
where the masculine is the riverbanks. The masculine to hold the
Yes.
space for the
Yes.
feminine so
That's
we
good.
can do our own thing that we need to be doing.
Oh, I am going to use that. That is so good because it's confirmed. If anything, I really appreciate you saying that because that's exactly what I think I'm experiencing with him. I don't know if he would have come into my life if I had not healed my nervous system.
Mm,
If I Because the nervous system healing my body, my soul, my spirit, my life, um, allowing myself to learn what it means to be still, to be quiet, to be present with just me took some time. Like the whole meditation, quiet your mind, that was so challenging. One, being ADHD, and two, constantly when the nervous system has been in trauma, you're constantly on hyper alert attention. You're constantly looking for the next shoe to fall. You're constantly in survival mode trying to figure things out. And what that does is it creates this pattern, and that's what psychologists pay attention to are patterns, patterns in thoughts, patterns in behaviors, patterns in communication, because it's conditioning how you're living your life. So your nervous system has now developed an understanding whether you're 10 years old or 50 years old or 90 years old. It has taken all this information and has created based a realization based on the patterns you set, and it will keep you safe even if it's a false sense of safety. So the goal here is once I started to heal that, this riverbank beautifully showed up. I fought it. I'm not gonna tell you that I didn't. I tried to destroy it because I was like, I don't trust you. I don't know you. You can't be what I think you are. Because my spirit was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. My head, the psychologist in me is like, let's test him. That man wouldn't budge. He's like, you don't scare me. And that was huge for me. Like, you don't scare me. I don't care how powerful you are. You don't scare. I ain't going nowhere. And I'm like, oh wait, I can really just drop into my voice went high, my
yeah,
eyeballs are flattering, like
exactly.
all this feminine stuff came out of me. It shocked myself. Like, where'd she come from? She's been
Well,
waiting for the right container
right. Well,
to
like in
be
what you've been saying is like, unless we can drop in and feel the peace and the calm, only then can we receive.
that. Until you feel, my word is safe, because I think most of us are not safe. Look at our world right now. It is not a safe place to be in any sense of the word. And so the goal in my heart, and I know I now can definitely hear it in your heart, is we're creating these opportunities, these communities where a woman can literally say, once that door is closed, oh, I'm safe. I can
Mhm.
relax. I can tell my truth and not be judged or criticized, held accountable to my greatness, because I won't let you stay in your dysfunction long. I can't. I don't know how. I
Right.
will lovingly, it's up to you to decide if you want to walk it, but I will tell you lovingly, there's a better way to do this. Have you considered? Have you looked at? Holding you accountable to it. You need to be strategic as much as you need to be one who actually is behaviorally following your path. I've been
Mhm.
saying lately, like, behavior is a language, and your language is communicating to the world what you receive just as well. So if your behaviors is not getting you what you want, change your behaviors.
Well,
Here's
and unfortunately, I know for me, I get stuck, in that ridge of that behavior. And it's, like in, a lot of programs, the first step is awareness,
Yeah,
realizing that you're in that,
yes,
and only then can you change.
right, right. But sometimes, you've been so, like for myself, you may not even recognize it if you've gotten used to operating in dysfunction.
Mhm.
If you've been operating in this mode of operandi for, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, you may not even see it. And so
Mhm.
it may have to take a traumatic experience like my mother dying, and then, I had to put my dog down and losing my home and losing, friends and other family members and losing, big, huge corporate contracts and losing my own sense of self-confidence, losing me for me to see something's not right, something's out of alignment. And
Right,
if I don't change this is going to continue because it's a pattern. It's a habit. It's already there. I have to break this in order to change this.
right,
So I don't even take credit for it. I really do say that God just took my life and said, she's hard-headed, so I'm gonna
right,
help her out. And I'm gonna turn her upside down so she has no choice but to surrender, be still, submit, so she can hear the spirit of God inside me, the divine sense of myself, spirit, if you will, and say, okay, now you have no choice but to hear me, so let me start telling you a few things. Girl, you messed up. And I'm like, okay, what you mean? And,
yeah,
and as the revelation started to come forward, and I started to accept that, yeah, this is true. And yes, I've accomplished a lot. I'm very proud of it. We don't want to ever dismiss what you've already gone through, but there is a better way and a higher way of living. And it's time to rise into the her that you always were meant to be. And I know I'm creating a safe place for every woman to join me in that journey. And I know that you are too. And I can't wait to let's get off the phone. Like, girl, we need to do something together. There's some other
absolutely.
stuff we need to
Well,
be
I don't know
doing.
if you remember, so my traumatic experience happened right before we met with my husband passing. So that was my turning point.
See, and it's unfortunate that it sometimes has to take a traumatic experience to kind of catch your awareness. And I'm a firm believer that your life is probably trying to get your awareness before the traumatic event. We're just too busy to see it. So it takes that brick wall to hit us in the face and us go, oh, wait a minute, I got to do it. So if there's a way that Tara and I can speak to you and put you in a place where you can avoid some of those or delay maybe some of those traumatic experiences because you're now setting yourself up correctly. You're getting the healing internally and externally that you need. You're creating the foundation, the infrastructure to actually function well. I know we both want to do that. I say that to your audience, and I say that to myself. I'm still working
Yeah,
on it. So
no,
I know
I'm in a complete agreement. Absolutely.
I love it.
I put in a few
Absolutely.
extra syllables in that
Yes,
word.
just to make sure it's absolutely
Yes,
clear who we want to make
absolutely.
this
Because
this
just like we all have it inside of us. We
yes.
all, in my world, and I believe that we all came here to learn. So it's either a lesson or a blessing or whatever that's out there. We all have the same, how do I say this? Pretty much we all have the same purpose in finding
Yeah.
out what our purpose is. You
Yeah.
right?
We were all designed to live life abundantly. That's what God intended for every
Yeah.
single one of us.
Yeah.
And the journey of living life fully has sometimes taken us off track
Yeah.
because of our human experiences. If we really aligned with we're spiritual beings, well, as spiritual beings, we're whole and complete, nothing missing, nothing broken. And the goal is to get back to her or him, because this is for the guys just as much as it is for the girls. But we
Absolutely.
need we need a safe place to do that. And I come from a background where there's been childhood sexual abuse. There's been domestic violence. There's been alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't come from a pretty easy, calm past. I came from a traumatic past.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came in the world fighting, and I've been fighting ever since. And I think, God at this season of my life says, okay, she doesn't have to fight anymore. She needs to gain the deeper wisdom so that she can move forward. And then I'll bring her the right tools and the right partnerships and the right situations that allows her to make a bigger impact. So I can tell you, I know exactly how big my calling is. I've always known. I think in some ways I've run from it, and now I've surrendered to
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's why I think a lot of these opportunities are showing up now more so than ever. And I know we're coming to a close. I'll share this. One of my callings is to work with highly spiritual, highly capable, highly called women, meaning this woman who knows I'm here to make an impact on the world. I'm here to talk to the masses. I'm here to have my brand, my message, and my business change lives in a big way. Not just 200 women. I'm talking 5,000, 10,000, 30,000, 50,000. I've known that my whole life, and I've had too many experiences in my life to not confirm that that's true. So in 1997, I had the opportunity to be a part of a women's collaborative where we did the very first large stadium women's event, the very first one on the planet. It was a huge endeavor. I was doing my master's and I got invited to be a part of the advisory team. So it was a leadership advisory and then our staff and then our volunteer team. And I learned so much. But that was also the time I got a chance to be on a stage and a stadium talking to 35,000 women in one location. And I got several prophetic words. For those of you who understand that or believe in that, someone has insight or a spiritual discernment of a word and they give that to you that I was called to do. I'm like, well, I knew that early on because I got those prophetic words early on in my life. And I know that that's coming again because if you've noticed, a lot of men are doing it. But have you noticed this? There hasn't really been a women's stadium event in a long time. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them. And so I'm like, yeah, somewhere along the line, we need to get more women speaking. We need to get more women on stages. We need to get more women at the high six, seven figure level. We need to get more women who are operating in their feminine. And I'm not talking about just being soft and wearing pretty dresses. Those are nice because I'm a dress girl
Mm-hmm.
all day long. The more feminine, the better. But I'm talking about operating in your discernment, your intuition, operating in that internal power that allows your oxytocin to be so high, you almost don't have to do anything because things are just going to be attracted to you. That's what I'm still mastering. Haven't mastered it yet, but I can see as I'm making that a focus, as I'm healing my nervous system, my body, my way of thinking, my identity, as that all is being up leveled to being the woman who's risen into her, um, it's fascinating how things are just coming to me from a thought. Like I'll think it, and then a couple days later, there it is. Now, other people may go, "Well, that's the law of attraction." I'm like, okay, if you want to say that, that's fine. For me, it's me operating in the divine calling that God has created me for, not just the law of attraction. It's who I am. And because this is who I am, and now my body and my soul and my spirit are all in alignment, it's just coming. And I'm like, well, damn, wish I knew this years ago. But it's the season that we're supposed to learn it in. You're all invited to join us on this wave. I like the word the wave. Let's join us on this wave. Let's create this swell that Tara's been talking about. I am so with you, sister. And the fact that you're a white woman, I'm a black woman, we can do this together.
Hell yeah.
Please, come on now.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah,
Yeah. Well, and it's, and that's why I have people like you on my show, because I'm the platform. I love, love, love to be that platform, help, give her the push she needs.
Yes.
I'm 20 years ago, I had a women's business networking group, and that's what that was all about.
Yeah.
All the work I have ever done, that's the thread.
Well, with everything that's happening in the world, especially with AI right now, um, the whole content-driven, course-driven aspect of the personal development world is fading fast. And so what we're finding, the research is really deeply showing that people are wanting to get back to community. They're
Hmm.
wanting to get back to experiences. And so this is one of the reasons why I changed my whole coaching program. So I'm going to do it a little differently this time. So it's you're not bound to that, but you're having experiences because experiences, I even know this as a psychologist, the experiences that you've had have shaped you the way you are. So you need to have new experiences to help you evolve into becoming her, the new woman that you're called to be. So my job is to create as many experiences that will help you align with that as quickly as possible from your personal life to your business. So
Hmm.
what can we put in place that's going to make that happen? So that's why I have all the stuff that's in place, and I'm building my business so that, as you join us, you have opportunities to also be an affiliate person. Eventually, it's going to go into something bigger so you can make some real money just by being a woman and saying, hey, girlfriend, join me. And then that's it, just sharing. Because when a woman, I know women say, I don't like to sell. You don't have to. Your greatest sell success is in your ability to share. And because we do that naturally, we should all be multimillionaires just because we share the right stuff. Truly,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
convinced.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just by the sharing it, was an old, I think it was a Breck commercial in the late 70s. And this is what women do. If you find
Yes,
something awesome, you'll tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on. I loved that commercial. I had to
yes,
find it the other day on YouTube
yes.
because it was a younger person that had never heard of it.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, that's how we are.
And imagine what would happen if a woman really understood the spiritualness, the science, the biology, the power of that. If we all shared within our own community together, there's no reason why we wouldn't be wealthy on multiple levels, even financially.
Mhm.
Guarantee you. I will stick. I believe this so much, I will put my life on it because I know that's how God created us. I
Mhm.
know it. So
Oh,
it's up to you to decide you want to be a part of it.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my gosh. I knew this was going to be a rich conversation, and out of the ballpark, girl.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
And I could
You're
sit
a
here
ballpark to
talking to
me.
you for hours. And unfortunately, we're about out of time. And I know you're offering something for our viewers. So
Yeah.
say a little bit about that, and I will have the information
Yes.
in the content below.
So
So
there are two things I'm going to give you. Two things that are pretty free. One is I want to actually give you an assessment. It's called the Exhausted Woman Assessment. It's a really quick assessment, but it's going to give you very specific details as to what you're dealing with in your entire life, in your body, how being burnt out or exhausted or tired is affecting your life, your money, your business, and all that kind of stuff. So that's free assessment that you can take. There are some upgrades if you want to get more details, so you get a report and all that kind of fun stuff. Then the second thing is I would love to have all of you sign up for our new newsletter. We're launching it next week, but you're getting to it early. It's called Her Grounded Wealth Within newsletter. It's a private weekly newsletter giving you pretty much a lot of the information I've given you here with very specific details. And then the last thing is we're actually doing a free live tomorrow called From Stuck to Structured so that you can actually get your life out of being stuck or your business even more specifically. And then the offering is to be a part of the activation room or the Crowned It Vault. The activation room is a place where you get to get support and actually building the life and the business that you want, implementing. This is where as a business coach, this is the area that I think most women that I have worked with have struggled with is they've got all these wonderful ideas, but they don't know how to put it together and launch it so it actually gets real results. Whether it's a podcast, whether it's a TV show, or getting their book, or a funnel in their business, or building their community. I've done all of it. I've monetized every single piece of it, like high level monetization. So I'm offering those as a part of our business. So you'll have a link to each one of those. And the first two are free. You don't have to pay anything. The second one is more of a membership. So you can come, get what you need, and leave when you don't, when you're done. Come back anytime you want to. It'll always be available to you. And my heart's desire is to whatever I can do, whatever I can give you that's going to help you rise to be the woman that you were created to be. That's what my heart's desire is for all of you. So Tara, thank you for letting me be here with you.
Oh,
And
hey,
it can
my
only be.
absolute honor and privilege. And I'm going to say to you, come back anytime.
Oh, I would love to come back. I'm gonna have
Of
you on mine
course.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. And, let's make the world, a more
Safe
fulfilling
place. Yeah.
and safe place. And we're all living our purpose and receiving all of the abundance that the divine has ever wanted us to have
Mm,
and
yes,
more.
yes, and more. It's your time, ladies.
Yeah,
So thank you very
absolutely.
much. It's been an honor to be here. I adore you. I love you. And I'm so glad we were able to reconnect. We kind of refound each other. And there's so much we've got to do together, girls. We need to be on stage together. So that's my
Yeah.
next focus. So we're gonna make it happen. Bye,
Let me know
ladies. Love
when.
you
I'll
so
be
much.
there.
I know you will.
All
Bye,
righty.
ladies.
Thanks, Anita. Be sure to join us next time, where we continue to cultivate feminine power, explore potential, and provide information and tools to elevate your life. In the meantime, visit our website at thefemininewave.org or follow us on our YouTube channel at The Feminine Wave to watch other episodes, share what resonated from today's episode, and suggest future topics. Your feedback is imperative in helping reach more women seeking to reclaim their essence. Until then, catch the swell of the feminine wave and continue creating the life you deserve. This is Tara Becker signing off. Take care, and we'll see you on the airwaves.